All right, everybody, welcome back to our Week 5 edition of the 2021 season of the BSB. I'm Sean Kaus,
I'm Tony James.
and we're coming to you another Thursday edition this week. 2 weeks in a row, stuff happens. We got to do it on Thursdays. So we have talked about the downside and the upside about that.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about how you might be getting better odds because you don't know the full injury reports, because they come out on Fridays, but you don't know the full injury report. So you're taking your lumps either way, but that can work out good and bad for you. And we'll talk about that actually a little bit later. But as a quick reminder, we are both teachers by trade. We are doing this to not only give you some entertainment value, but we are hoping to make betting less intimidating for you, make it easier, make it helpful for you to understand. Hopefully, maybe you venture out instead of just saying, I want this team to win. Maybe you can venture out and do a little bit more. So that's what we're trying to do, and hopefully pick up some good stuff. As far as our picks, you can do what you want with them, but hopefully you learn, and that's what we want. Give you something to think about.
Heck yeah, man. Take our picks, fade our picks, whatever you do, just win some money on it. Learn something new trying to learn something new each week. And, it's all about the fun, right? That's what I do this for is, for fun, test my knowledge, see if I do my homework correctly, and then, just adjust from there and see what changes from week to week. So, the injury report thing is very interesting for us recording on Thursday, because you're right. Like all day on Friday last week, after we recorded, I'm just getting notifications. So and so is out. So and so is out. So and so is out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how that affects you. It's way easier. You're right, to make those decisions when those things come out on Tuesday or Wednesday, rather than trying to do this on a Thursday. Or I'm sorry, it's easier for it to on a Friday or Saturday than than a Tuesday or Wednesday. So it does suck sometimes, and you are taking your chances. But like you said, sometimes you can use that in your favor to get better odds, and so it kind of balances out there.
Well, and sometimes it doesn't even matter. Sometimes you'll get game time decisions. Like this morning, I actually put a bet on Chris Carlson to score a touchdown because he was still questionable this morning. And then about 2 hours before the game, he's not playing. And I already have a bet out, so I lost. But that happens. But at least Friday, you have more information.
For sure. But I mean, that's for fantasy, for betting, all that is good information that helps drive our decisions. So it's all good to have.
I agree. And speaking of driving decisions, let's talk about our flavor of the week.
Oh, well, I can taste mine already, man. I'm not drinking this week because I'm running a marathon on Saturday. But after I do that, I have a 6-pack of Stone's 25th anniversary triple IPA just waiting to be crushed. They're 12.5% alcohol by volume. So I don't know if I'm going to get to all 6 of them. I plan on making a valiant effort to get through 3 of them. And it should be a very fun day.
Yeah, and what's funny? I almost got that today for my flavor of the week too, but I've got too much stuff going on, trying to get ready to go to Vegas and everything. So I didn't have time to run to the store, and I've been kind of having some stomach issues. So ginger ale sounded good. And I know last week I did whiskey and ginger. This week I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to do it with another one of my favorites, and that is Maker's Mark. I had a little bottle left in there, so let's do that up. So it worked out. It's just a different whiskey, and like whiskey's my favorite. So
that's me rubbing my tummy because it sounds so good.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about what we did last week. So if you guys remember, 2 weeks ago, Tony didn't have such a good week, and I had a great week. This week we sort of flip-flopped. I had not so good of a week. Tony had an even week, just about. So, which to me, an even week is a good week. Sometimes it feels like kissing your sister, but at least you're not losing. So, but I bet on Detroit being the upset last week. I was wrong. Arizona beat the Rams, man. We both said it was going to be a close game. I thought the Rams would come over, and we were wrong in the close game. We both said Arizona had a chance, and they had more than a chance, and they proved us wrong, and they're legit. They cost me my parlay there. Damn Golden Domers screwed me on my NCAA. My home run teaser for the NFL wasn't even close. Josh Allen had 2 touchdowns instead of 2.5, over 2.5 that I bet on. The only thing I did win was that Seattle was plus 1.5 for the first half. So I got my 20 back and 18 for that. So I got 38 back. So I bet 125, got 38 back. So it was a rough week, but you know what? It's okay because I was up a good amount after the week before. So it's not terrible, even though
it is. And I think you're still ahead for the term here. So that's really good. And like you said, you always want to, I think you mentioned this last week, you always want to make sure that you're betting what you can afford to lose. And so it looks like you did. And you know what? Didn't come out the way we wanted, but this week's a new week, which is awesome. That's what we do this for, right? It's Saturdays and Sundays, baby. I won my Arizona over bet. So that was 31. I bet 33 on that. I got 31 back. I won my Friday teaser NCAA football with BYU Houston over in Iowa. I lost my Saturday and Sunday teasers. That was pretty not awesome. I lost both of my parlays, Miami, Cleveland. Like, I don't know what happened to Miami. They just where'd you go?
I'm pretty sure I told you that, but I'm not going to say that.
And then Tampa Bay, I lost that one too. That was kind of I should have known when the rain started falling, I wasn't getting the over. I lost my Jets under bet. I thought they'd get under 17.5, and for some reason they decided to show up this week. So
got their first win.
Yeah, I mean that's good, right? That's really good. Good for them, good for Zach, but bad for me. So I bet 123. I got 114 back. So yeah, just about even. It's always a good weekend when I don't have to go back to the ATM, and this would be one of those weekends where I go to the window like, I don't have to go to the ATM. I can play again next week. So not too bad.
I agree. And I'll take that all day long. So after all is said and done, don't forget we have budgeted $100 every week for the football season for us to do that. That includes a playoff and everything like that. So this week I have $725 to spend and Tony has $549. And, we have budgeted that 100 a week. So when we're talking about how much we have, we're in week 5. So we have 500 that we've put out. So I am up $225. Tony's up $50, basically. Like, we're still up overall. So we'll definitely take that, because I have a ton of people text me actually now because of the show, and I love it. They hit me up on Facebook or text or whatever, and I love it. I love talking with you every weekend, and I love now that other people are like, hey, what do you think? I get phone calls, I get texts. I love it. But somebody was like, yeah, you're not really up $725. Well, we had budgeted every week, but even if you take out that 100 from every week, we're still up. So I just wanted to point that out. And wow, you're up a lot. Yeah, I do understand 100 of it is our weekly bet, but we're still up. So, and like we said, we have it budgeted, so that's what we can lose.
That's right. I'm ready to not lose this week, though, for sure.
I agree. All right. So starting with our straight picks, we always start with our straight picks. They are just betting on an outcome of a game. That's a straight pick. I have 2 of them this week, and both are in my division. So, of course, you guys know I'm a faithful member of the Mafia, Bills Mafia. I am picking Buffalo to win on the money line, 35 to win 43, and that's not just a homer pick. Okay, it is partly. I'm not going to lie about that.
Homer. You're a homer.
But it is not. Now, there is a question once again. Poyer and Milano are questionable. Those are 2 of their key defensive players right there. So if they don't play, this could be not a win for Buffalo. And I'm not saying Buffalo can't win without them. I'm just saying their chances aren't as good. But because of that right now, it's +3. I think once it comes out tomorrow that they're playing, because I imagine they're going to play, I can't see how they missed this game, especially after losing to them in the championship last year. I think once you see that, the line is going to go down, and the Buffalo might be 2 or 1, +2 or +1 instead of +3. So that's why I jumped on it now. Got him at +3. Look, Casey's given up 29 points in every single game this year. And total, Buffalo's only given up 37. For the whole year, Buffalo's only given up 37 points. 2 of those were shutouts. Now, while they didn't play anybody, they shut out nobody. Okay, you're right. Miami, not very good. Okay. But they, in Houston last week, not very good. But it's still hard to shut somebody out in the NFL, and I don't care who you are. And the Bills did it 2 out of 4 weeks. So Buffalo's defense is legit. They're there to go. They're too good for Casey, and that's what I'm standing on. I think Buffalo wins that outright without a problem. And, guys, this is an Arrowhead, and Casey's only a 3-point favorite. Usually you get 3 points for home field advantage. So, basically, Vegas is looking at it as it could go either way here. And I think it's Buffalo's game to win.
You know, you make a great point about Buffalo's defense. This would probably be one of the – I thought the Chargers played the Chiefs very, very good, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I think there was a point in that game where they had turned the ball over 4 times in a row on 4 drives in a row. And I don't think the Chargers defense is nearly as good as the Bills defense when the Bills are at 100%. So I think you're right. This is still going to be a tough game. It's the primetime game on Sunday. So everybody's going to be watching, and it's going to be, this is as far as the Bills got last year. And so we're going to see if they can get over the hump and win at Arrowhead. I like their chances though. I really do. I don't think Kansas City is playing with the same, I don't want to say the same intensity or the same, it's not the, I can't think of the level of concern, I guess, as usual, but there just seems something's not right. Something's not right with Kansas City right now.
Yeah, I agree. They don't look like the normal KC, and I don't know if that's because, their injuries. I don't know if that's because people are figuring out they need to beat them. They need to outshoot them. I think for so long it was let's stop them. I think now the thing is let's outshoot them. If we can get 1 stop, if we can get 2 stops to Casey's 1, we'll win the game. And that's kind of, I think, what you're seeing. So, and Buffalo will get a good bunch of good stops in there. So I like it.
Here's something interesting too, man, is like we have Kansas City's offense is second, Buffalo's is 8th. So we got 2 really good offenses, but you look at defense, Buffalo is 1st. Kansas City is 31st.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not even close.
Yeah, and so I really, really like if I was –
well, and especially since Buffalo got the run game going, they are a full offense right now. So
for sure.
That's why I didn't get my over for Josh Allen throwing over 2.5 freaking touchdowns last week, because they're turning into a full offense. Dabble is finally using the run. And I don't know why he wasn't before, because he's got the same 2 running backs, but he's figured it out now, and they're becoming an all-around team, and that makes them dangerous. Go Mafia. I love it. My other pick is the Patriots. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I don't care how much you have to put down to win and how much you win. A win is a win. Here is one of those cases. New England is -400 on the money line. So, and I'm not messing with points here, but New England wins hands down. You saw how well Jones did against Brady last week. He's there. He's ready. He is the clear predecessor to Brady in New England. He is going to do a great job. He proved that last week when they played them. I told you last week, nobody knows how to game plan better for Brady than Belichick, and it was proven. And I think Belichick's, what was he, 22-3 against rookie quarterbacks, I think is the stat, if I can find it real quick here.
And they're throwing Davis Mills out there, right?
Sorry. 22-6 he is against rookie quarterbacks. So New England takes control of this game. My $40 is only going to win me 10. But once again, I know it's going to win. There's not a doubt in my mind. So I'm going to take my $10 and run with it. I don't care that I got to lay 40 for it.
No, you make a great point. Davis Mills is just not not the answer right now. So, but you know what? They could throw Tyrod out there if they wanted to. It's still not going to matter.
Yeah, he's not ready.
Yeah. So, yeah, good luck, Houston. It's just like Tankville, USA right now. So, yeah, you got two solid straight picks there. I really like both of them. And I like your strategy for taking New England, even though they're huge favorites. Like, here, let me get a little bit of money back here.
Correct. If I can get my 10 back and my 40 back, I'll take $50 in my pocket. I'm good
Right
with that.
on. Well, I have a feeling that you're gonna not like this straight pick that I have, but that seems to be par for the course. It's more times than not right now. Um, my straight pick this week, I went a different direction than I usually like to do. I am taking the under in the Arizona San Francisco game this week, under 49.5, $33 to win 30. I went back and looked this up over the last 26 matchups. So you're going back over 13 seasons. The total in this game has gone over 50 points 6 times. So the under has come through 20 times out of the last 26. Last year, they met late in the season in Arizona. It was 20-12, which would come through way under. I don't even know if San Francisco is throwing out there Jimmy G, or if they're going to throw Trey out there, or if it's Mullins or Montana, or I have no clue who's going to go out there this weekend. And Arizona has a really dynamic offense for sure. They looked fantastic last week. They kicked the Rams' ass up and down the field. But there's something about this matchup against San Francisco that it just seems like every time they play, this game turns into a snooze fest. And so I'm betting really here on history more than anything else.
Well, go ahead. Sorry,
I was say I'm just looking at the patterns, right? Last year the games were 20-12 and 24-20. The year before that, they both went over 50 points. And then the previous year, 2018, 33-46. The year before that, 30-33. The year before that, 43-54, and then back under again. Something doesn't seem right with me, so I'm going to take the under here.
All right.
Tell me why I'm wrong.
First of all, before I even get into it, if you listen to the show, you know I'm not a Cardinals fan. I just something about them. I've never. I mean, I don't hate them like I hate the Patriots, but I don't. I'm not a Cardinals fan. Mm-hmm. That being said, Kingsbury coached his best game he ever has last week. That team is legit, and I'm going to say this now because you said they're legit. Look. They're going to lose. They are not going undefeated this year. I would guarantee that I would bet a lot of money they are not going undefeated this year. But they're a playoff team, and they're damn good. And people are going to, once Arizona, everybody, we talked about it last week even, aren't we waiting for the wheels to fall off? They're going to lose a couple of games here and there, but the wheels aren't going to fall off. They're a different team. Kingsbury is a better coach. And once again, I'm not a Kingsbury fan. I'm not a Murray fan. But, man, are they looking good? They are looking legit after last week's game. I think they proved something. And I think in years past with Murray, it's been strictly athletic ability that's had them win games.
Yes.
And now it's, we know what to do. We know how to handle this. We know how to do it. Murray's got a better head on his shoulder. Like, I feel things are better. Now, that leads to them having scored over 30 points in every game this year.
Mm-hmm.
31, 34, 38, 37. Like, they're alone almost there. And then when you look at San Francisco, I think it was all but one game. It was every but one game they've scored over 20. The game against the Eagles, they only scored 17. True. But every other game they scored 20. So when you're looking 30 by Arizona and 20 by San Francisco, there's your 50 right there. And on top of that, when you look at defenses, Cardinals defense, week 1, Jones has 5 sacks. They're the greatest thing in the world. I don't want to say the wheels fall off. I don't want to say they didn't. Everybody knew that wasn't going to – he's not going to have 5 sacks every game and stuff like that.
100%.
They're still a legit defense. I don't think that defense is playing as well as they could be because, yes, he had 5 sacks the first game. Yes, it's not going to keep happening. However, it's been 3 other weeks and he hasn't had any yet. You know what I mean? Like, I think there could be more to that defensive line. I think more can happen.
Mhm.
I don't know that it happens against San Francisco, but I think it does eventually happen. And when you look at how many points San Francisco lets up in a game,
Mhm.
they average 25 points letting up. Arizona is going to way beat that when you look at the team San Francisco's beat. Like, and Arizona themselves lets up 20 on average. So even though Arizona's winning games, like I said, their defense isn't where it needs to be yet. And I don't know that it gets there against San Francisco, but there's just too many signs to point to me. And I agree. When you look at this matchup, and sometimes you have that feeling, this matchup is normally an under game, but Arizona has never had this team in the last 26. They haven't had a team like this. They haven't had a quarterback like this. Murray, he's on that Josh Allen trajectory where it's year 3 and he's taken off. When you look at Palmer, when you look at Warner, like those guys were great quarterbacks, but they weren't Murray. Like, and I'm not saying he's their level yet, but I'm saying he has more weapons, not just receivers. He has legs that the other two did.
That's super fair assessment. Would you say that the 49ers are better than the Titans? I mean, I'm sure you would say that they're better than the Jaguars, but would you say
that's
they're
easy.
better than the Titans?
And the question there is, yes, I say they're better than the Titans, but it depends who QBs.
Okay.
If Lance plays, and I actually think he does pretty decently. I think Shanahan's a good enough coach to put him in a spot to succeed when he goes in and has a full week to prepare. I think he can have a good game, and I think Shanahan can make sure that happens. So I think he's got a good shot to put up some points, but I don't think he has enough to win it. And that's why I think QBs. But if Jimmy G's in there, and Mullins or Young or whoever's in there,
CJ Beathard, I don't even know.
Yeah, it's a whole different ball game. But I think they have a shot, not to win, but to put up some points.
Okay, so yeah, and I agree with your assessment of the Arizona defense as well. Like the first week, they looked like they were world beaters, and then it's just you knew it wasn't going to be sustainable. It's just not. Yeah. Chandler Jones isn't getting 85 sacks. He's not. He'll probably get 15 or 16, and that'll be that. So yeah, I am betting this strictly on history at this point. Just seeing what's going to happen here. It'll be I think it'll be like, I don't want to say it's going to be an entertaining game. I don't like San Francisco's chances here in this game. I don't think they win this game. And what I'm thinking might happen is this game might be more along the lines of when the Cardinals played the Titans, not necessarily that Jones will go off, but that they just won't, the Niners just won't be able to get anything going.
And here's something that I will say in your defense for this going under is next week is San Francisco's bye. Mm-hmm. Kittle is questionable, and once again, we don't know the outcome, and I'm guessing he's going to be game time. Mm-hmm. But this might be a game where it's like, well, Trey Lance is starting. It's a divisional game, so I could see it going both ways. But one of them is he's not 100%. It's Trey Lance's first full week, first game where he is totally the man. Like, do we let the cards fall where they and kind of take this as an L and give Kittle 2 weeks this week and next week to get ready and then come back stronger than ever and then play better the rest of the way through? Like, that's something that may go in your favor if Kittle doesn't play. Then maybe they don't have enough points on San Francisco's side to get this over. Either way, I don't think they win, but it's the over that we're talking about here. And that's the only thing I see in your favor.
It would be kind of my luck, right, to bet the under for once in my betting career, and for that game to just be like at halftime, it's like 30-28, and I'm just sitting there going, "What a."
Yeah, you like to cheer for points, not
I
for
love points. I love points. Oh man, this is gonna be a sweat fest. But let's see what happens. Let's just have some fun with it and see what happens. And Who knows? I might be right. It might be 6 out of the last 27.
That
That would be
I hope for
incredible.
your sake it is. I really do. I always wish the best for you, but I can't see it. All right, that's our straight picks this week. Let's move into our parlays.
Let's do it.
Remember, parlays is you're putting teams together. All of them have to hit. Every bet has to hit for you to win. But because every bet wins, you are making a lot more money for what you're getting. So
Yes.
I've got a couple of upsets in here.
Oh, I love it.
Maybe just one upset in here. But I got Cincinnati. I got Minnesota, Carolina, Tampa Bay, Tennessee, and your Raiders. All on the money line. I'm not messing with points here. But it's $20 to win 219. So I'm getting over 10 times my money. Now, Rodgers came out and said, I don't like playing in Cincinnati. Something about it I just don't like. And since he's got like the sixth best D, I think it was, or something like that, their D is legit and they're good against the run. And when Rodgers doesn't have a run to support him and you can tee off on Rodgers, he's not as bad as Brady. Like Brady can't handle it when he's got that much pressure in. Rodgers can do better at handling that pressure, but it's still tough for him. And look, you still have a Heisman Trophy national championship #1 pick sitting there at quarterback. Yeah, he's back off a hurt ankle, but I know Dak is the comeback player of the year, but Dak might be the MVP. So I think Joe Burrow gets comeback player of the year. He's having a great year so far. He hasn't got enough credit for what he does. And that Green Bay secondary is hurt. So with Joe Mixon probably being out, he's going to have to sling it, and that might not be a bad thing for him. So I think Cincinnati wins this. I think Green Bay can't hold it together. So I'm taking Cincy on that. Minnesota's like 4 plays away from being 4-0. I mean, is
true.
And here's what I was just saying about Arizona. They're legit. Minnesota should have beat them. And I'm not taking away anything Arizona did, but Minnesota lost that game. Arizona didn't win. And when you say that and you look at where Arizona is and everybody says they're legit and yes, they're going to lose and people are going to come down and say Arizona sucks. See, look, they suck. No, they don't. They lost the game. They're not going to go undefeated. They're still legit. True. Minnesota should be right there in that discussion as well. Yeah, they're 1-3, but I mean, they're better than their record shows. The only worry is if Cook plays, but it's still Detroit. And we did say last week, Detroit is going to have a win, but it's not going to be against Minnesota. Minnesota is too good. Carolina, I'd be even more confident about this pick if Gilmore was playing this week. But I mean, to get Gilmore on that defense that's already stout is amazing for them. But Philly is just not there. Hurts is a good quarterback. He's going to do good in this league, but they're not there yet. That D needs a lot of work. Hurts need a lot of work. Like, that's there. Then you got Tampa. Look, Tampa, Battle of Florida there. And Miami is at the shit end of the stick there.
Yes.
Tennessee. And the only reason I would ever pick Tennessee right now is because they're Jacksonville. And look, Urban Meyer, I don't know how he's not fired yet. Or forced to resign or something. And I'm not okay. You're a guy, dude. You go back to your hometown where you're a god, not hometown, but a town that worships you as a cult. It's just going to happen. That's what you do. You're going to get drunk and you're going to do stupid stuff. If he would have just came out and said, man, I screwed the pooch. I shouldn't have done that. I got wasted and done stupid stuff. And that'll never happen again. And, even taking a step further, like I'm going to get help for drinking or whatever, then we have a different discussion on our hands. But instead of I just made a mistake and that was it, dude, you didn't even fly back with the team. Like, you got your ass whooped and then you went and groped some little hoity-toity girl there. And what are you doing, dude? Like, what message after, you've heard him talk as much as I have. And he's been full of shit forever. And he always leaves when shit like this happens. I don't think he's going to leave, but he's got to be odds on favorite to get fired right now. He's lost that team. You can't sit there and
Yes.
say this means everything, and you could be in the locker room and say I'm sorry. You didn't fly back with the team. You talk about all this morality and stuff, and you go do that shit. You lost them. That team is
Mhm.
not playing for you at all. And I feel sorry for Trey Lance. He's going to be a stud in this league. He needs to get rid of Urban Meyer. I said that before this happened, but it needs to happen even more now. And then your Raiders. I mean, they lost to the Chargers. The Chargers are legit. I'm more worried about them against Buffalo than I am KC right now.
Mhm.
Um, Vegas was. I think it was a little shock to them being prime time so many games already this year. I think it just started to weigh on them a little bit, and maybe I'm wrong on that. Obviously, I'm not a player, and they're professionals; they should be able to handle it. But there's a different thing when you're playing, a Monday night and a Sunday night and a Monday night. Like it's a different feeling. So I think that finally got to them in the Chargers, and they weren't ready for it. But Fields is another one that's in a bad situation because Matt Nagy's a freaking idiot. And if it weren't for Urban Meyer, Nagy'd be the one that's odds on favorite to get fired first. He like it, and you and I are both coaches. We know what happens at practice. We can say,
Mhm.
hey, they proved it at practice. This happens. But not the way he's doing it. He's not starting. He is starting. He's not starting. He is starting. He's our franchise now. It's so stupid. And that's something that can lose you a locker room too. So I just don't think Chicago, even though Fields I think is going to do all right. I don't think he's going to be better than the other ones, but
Mhm.
he's going to do all right. He that locker room, I don't think is behind him. So that's my part. That's my first parlay for the week. My
Yeah.
second, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna pile on the Bears for a second because the Bears still suck. Um, yeah, man, give them the keys or give them the clipboard. Just pick. And there's no shame. Aaron Rodgers held the bloody clipboard for 4 years.
Well, he
There,
did pick. Now it's just it took you 4 weeks of going back and forth until you picked, and now it's like okay, now we finally got. It's almost like your parents telling you you can do this, you can't do this, you can do this, you can't do this. Okay, now you can,
Mhm.
and you're like, well, what? I don't know where I'm going here.
Well, what's crazy is they have a Super Bowl MVP there too. Like you're gonna, it's like look there he could learn from, and I have no skin in the game. I don't really care. The Bears can up their franchise however they want to, but it's the same thing that they just did. They just did this 4 years ago. Now they're doing it again. Where's the problem,
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
So like I said, I have no skin in that battle. I think the Raiders kicked their ass um, by a lot. So let's hear about your
I
second
hope
parlay.
so. My other one, I'm just taking two teams that I think are for real right now, and it's the Cardinals and it's the Bills. Cardinals, we've already talked about them. We've already talked about the Bills. My $20 is going to win me 45. And that's just my small one to say, hey, I'm going to get my money back on that other parlay if, in fact,
Mhm.
something doesn't hit, but I think it does.
I love it. You know me, man. I'm a fan of the 2 and 3 teamers a lot. My problem lately has been matching them up correctly. I think you have a great matchup there, so that's really cool. I have two parlays as well. I have a NFL parlay and an NCAA parlay. My NFL parlay, I picked a couple of games. Well, I picked one game that you also picked. I picked the Raiders. I think they're pissed. Um, I think that I mean, let's just call it as it is. They fell behind 21-0 to a really good team. You're probably not going to dig your hole out, dig out of that hole. They almost did, but they just couldn't do it. That you got off to a slow start. You lost the game. Um, I think they come back. I think they're upset about that. They know that that's not their identity, and I think they come out and I think they win this game by at least 14 points, which would be interesting because they haven't. I mean, they beat the Ravens by 6. They beat the Dolphins by 3, and they beat the Steelers by 9, I believe. So it would be nice for the Raiders to win something comfortably and going away. And I like the Chargers this week against the Browns. The Chargers, like you said, they are legit. Justin Herbert's going to be a star. Um, Eckler
No
is
sophomore slump for him.
no, not even close. Eckler looks great. The Chargers were very impressive on Monday. I think they keep this ball rolling. So my $20 is going to win 29. Not a whole heck of a lot on the return. I'm taking two favorites, but it's one of those things like you said, where I'm just going to, if something goes sideways with one parlay, I can win my money back with the other.
Yeah, and this is a good parlay. And look, we talked about it a little bit last week, and the week before, even when Baker Mayfield had that tackle he tried to make where he hurt his shoulder. That's still messing with him. And I saw an interview where he said, "Yeah, I got a harness on. No, it's not affecting anything." Bullshit. It is. Like it is. And I'm sorry, you squeaked out a win last week against Minnesota, and you were not yourself. I don't think Baker was. It's been proven that Baker wasn't the best quarterback to come out that draft, even though he was number one. But he is better than what he's playing right now, and I think a lot of that has to do with the shoulder. So I don't think Cleveland has it in them to beat the Chargers. The only problem that could happen here is it could be potential letdown game after such a big win over KC. But I don't think the Chargers let that happen. You're muted.
You know what might happen is they might have another lightning storm, and then that throws everything off, and the game doesn't start for an hour. Like, how the hell does you have an indoor stadium and you have a lightning delay?
Because the sides are open, and I understand it. I get it, but what I've never understood, like, because lightning can travel, it travels down, but it could kind of. I don't know. I haven't been there, but it looks like it's too far of a gap sideways for it to matter. But I've never understood why it's like, yeah, the players can't come on the field because it's lightning, but all you 40,000 fans sitting there are totally fine. Like, I've never understood that in any of those lightning delays.
I just thought it was so California for that to happen. Just a circus.
I agree.
It is what it is. But my NCAA parlay, I'm taking BYU on the money line against Boise State. Boise is just not great. Boise
is not a state.
They are definitely not a state. There's just something's wrong with them. I don't know if it's just because it's a new coach. I don't think Bachmeier's that great. His offensive line is not helping him. They can't run the ball. They got 22 yards last week on 34 carries. So they just can't run the ball. And BYU looks fantastic. Like I'm surprised with BYU. I thought they'd take a step backwards. They're like, nope, forget it. We're just going to keep steamrolling people. So I like them. And I teamed it up with Washington State. Washington State is 2-3. They had an ugly loss to USC. They had an ugly loss to Utah. They had a terrible loss to Utah State. They beat Portland State, but last week they seemed to put it all together against Cal. Cal's not a great team, but it was the first game that Delora looked really good. He looked really comfortable. They're playing Oregon State, and Oregon State, like I don't want to say that they're a fraud, but I didn't see them being 4-1 at this point. The game's in Pullman. Strange things happen there. I'm taking Washington State to win a close one. So my 20 will win me $50.
Well, when you look at head-to-head competition, this is where I worry about this bet. We looked at head-to-head. Look at what happened when Oregon State played USC. They pounded them.
Well, yeah, exactly. And so, but now I'm looking at that going, maybe USC isn't as good as everybody thought, because USC got pounded by Oregon State. They got pounded by Stanford. Stanford's a 13-point underdog this week. So how good is USC?
Yeah,
I don't know.
But I just, but what couldn't? Once again, going your same logic with Washington. I thought that was an outstanding win for the Beavers. But once again, how's Washington? They barely beat Cal. They got smoked by Michigan. They got beat by Montana. Like, how good are they really? So I don't know. I don't want to say you're wrong. This this game just scares me to the point where I wouldn't even touch it. So I hope you're right. I do like your BYU pick. The Washington State Beaver game. I'm too scared to even touch it.
I like Washington State a lot because they're at home. I don't think the Beavers beat USC on the road, but they lost to Purdue on the road. All the rest of their games have been won at home. So,
yeah, and that's probably the best thing going there. But I don't know. College has killed me this year, and
yeah,
I could be definitely wrong. So, all right, that's our parlays for the week. So let's move into our teasers. Remember, a teaser is when you add to the spread or the over-under in your favor. So if you have a team that's +3, you make them +9. If the over is 50, you take off 6 points, and you have 44 over 44. It's more in your favor, but the odds go down. So in my case, when I do teasers, I usually try to put more teams together like I did this one. I have an 8-team teaser because
this is a beauty.
Usually if you do like a 2-team teaser, it's usually 11 to win 10, so it's still less money. I like to try to win money with my teasers, especially when I'm getting points. I feel more confident, and that usually is my downfall, but I still like doing it anyway. I'm going to tease down the over in the Buffalo KC just because I think it's going to be a gun fest, but I don't think it's going to be that much, especially with Buffalo's D the way it is. So I'm going to tease down 6 points. 56.5 is just I'll take one less touchdown. And then I already talked about Buffalo winning, so why not put them in there and take them +9? I talked about Arizona winning. I'm going to take them, tease them up to +1. The Chargers we talked about, I'm going to take them at +5. Cincy, why not take them to win +9? Tennessee, same thing, +1.5. Carolina +3. And Tampa Bay is going to roll Miami, so I'm going to take -4. My $30 is going to win me $390.
That is a work of art. I think Tennessee bounces back. I think Carolina bounces back. And Tampa Bay. It's hard to bet against Tampa Bay. Like, yeah, you would have lost last week against the spread. You would have lost in week 1 against the spread. But I think more times than not, they're going to cover that spread. And I love the fact that you tease that down from 10 to 4. I think that's a really good strategy here. And I think you didn't go – I mean, when you look at the points that you're getting with these teams, you're not going out on a huge limb here. And you're still getting really good return.
Yeah, and and that's why the only thing I am semi-worried about is the Buffalo KC over. But like I said, I've talked about how many points they've each scored and everything. I just worry that Buffalo's D could have too big of a game, and then I'm really screwed there. But the rest, like you said, it's just we've talked about these teams winning outright already. So why not take whatever points I can in my favor? So
yeah, exactly. And Miami's Miami right now. So
correct. All right, what do you got for you went day by day? I like it.
I did. I tried the same strategy as I did last week with my teasers. So I did a Friday NCAA teaser. I've got Cincinnati's a big favorite over Temple. Cincinnati looks great right now. A little concerned with the 24, but not terribly concerned. I teased it down from 30. So I got Cincinnati, I got Florida International +9.5. They're playing at home against Charlotte. And I have Stanford +19.5 on the road at Arizona State. I'm not saying like when I'm taking the 19.5, like Stanford just came off of a huge win against Oregon. I don't think Stanford wins that game, but if I can get 19.5 points with a team that's trending up, I'm going to take it. So it's a small teaser. It's kind of like it's one of those. It's getting me ready for Saturday and Sunday. If I put 15 down on it, I'm going to win $24.
And I like your bets. And look, I'm a Devils fan. That's why I threw the forks up there. But I Devils haven't blown anybody out yet. Nope. I think the Devils win. I think Stanford win last week. Just showed that Oregon thought it was a letdown, thought it was an easy walkthrough game, and it's not, because I think Oregon's still a good team. And Stanford has that little chip on the shoulder of, hey, you're ranked, let's go beat you. And now that ASU is ranked, I worry about that chip on her shoulder. Now I think Herm Edwards will have them ready, and I think they'll win the game. But you're right. I think it's 10 to 12, maybe 14-point difference. I don't think it's 20-point difference. So
No.
I like your call on that. The only thing is, I gotta, if I'm watching that game and ASU is just swamping them, I'll tell them to hold off the brakes so you can win some money. But other than that, I like that parlay or that teaser. I think it's a good teaser.
Yeah, you make a great point about Herm Edwards. They haven't blown out anybody this year. I don't expect it to start now. So yeah, that should be good to go. Saturday, I've got Texas in the Red River rivalry plus 9.5. And it's not really a home game. Like, it's not technically a home game. They play it in Dallas. It's half and half, but Oklahoma just hasn't done anything for me this year. I'm really disappointed in how they played. They seem to be playing down to their competition, and Texas is just a team that could sneak up on them and beat them. So I've got if I'm getting 9.5 points at the Cotton Bowl, I'm totally taking it. I got the over, tease down the over in the Arkansas Mississippi game to 60.5. I've got Wake Forest plus 0.5 against Syracuse. And by the way, Wake Forest is undefeated. I don't know if anybody knew that. And Iowa plus 4.5 at home against Penn State. So my $20 will win 52.
Penn State screwed a lot of people, including me last week.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they come back or not. That's too iffy for me to once again even touch. But look, I'm a Devils fan. I just said I'm a Devils fan, but I always got to represent my home turf and go Orange. That's all I'm going to say there is go Orange. I was hoping that maybe you would get more than that, so I could root for, even if the Orange win, they can win by not a lot. But this is basically a pick.
Yep.
Look, Orange hung with Florida State, and Florida State's not a good team, but they still did hang with them. I mean, Wake Forest is a ranked team. Syracuse hasn't played a ranked team yet. I don't think Syracuse has a shot, but they're hanging in. They are putting up points, but they're not really playing any. But I mean, they played the Rutgers and they lost by 10, but Rutgers aren't anything either. So I like that, but I always root for my Orange. But I think you still got a good bet there. But go Orange. Yeah, what are you doing for the NFL in your teaser?
In Sunday's action, I've got Washington plus 8 against the Saints. I got Tennessee plus 1.5. I got Pittsburgh plus 6. Green Bay plus 3 and Carolina plus 3. So I believe we're fighting with with Green Bay and Cincinnati. And my 20 is going to win $84. I put the nod to Green Bay just based on experience. That's pretty much the only reason. He said Burrow's playing fantastic right now, but I'm going to give the edge to Rodgers. If the game is close and you're like, whose ball would I rather have in whose hand would I rather have the ball? I should say, not whose balls do I want in hands. I'm going to take my money with Aaron Rodgers any day of the week. He can put the balls in his hands. Holy smokes.
Oh, that was fantastic. That's got to be, we got to run that on a best of BSB loop right there.
So good. So good.
Wow. All right. That threw me off there for a second. Look. Oh, that was a good one. New Orleans, nobody knows what they are. I don't think.
This is what they are. They're a yo-yo.
But they're not even a yo-yo anymore. They're kind of they're not yo-yoing all the way back up. And so, but I just don't. Washington D. We keep saying if Washington's D wakes up, they're going to be good, but they haven't woke up. I mean, how many more weeks do you need before all of a sudden you can show me something? So,
true.
I worry about that. Pittsburgh, if Teddy Bridgewater plays, that might not be a good play. If he doesn't, then I think that's a good play because you want to talk about a snooze fest of a game? Drew Lock in his prime versus Ben Roethlisberger and his Walker. Like, that's a snooze fest right there.
God, Drew Lock couldn't hit the broadside of a freaking barn. That guy is awful.
Well, and then here, look, Green Bay, and I'm going back to look. Cincinnati, if Cincinnati wins the game, if they just win the game, and let's say they win the game by 2 points, you win your teaser, I win my teaser, and I win my parlay with Cincinnati on the money line. We all win on that game. So it is possible. I understand what you're saying out of experience. I think Rogers D behind him is just too beat up to handle that, and I think Cincinnati's D is too good. But the rest we all agree on, and I like that. So
now, if we go by stats, Green Bay has the 5th best defense in the league. So I can see what you're saying.
Yeah, but in your stats, where is Cincy's D looking?
7th. They're 7th. So it's that really good though. Really good.
Correct. Really good, but half of that defensive backfield is injured and probably not playing.
That's
so
true.
Those stats are going to be skewed a little bit.
And they did play the Lions.
That is also true. Well, the Cincinnati did play Jacksonville. So,
good
all right, that is our teasers for the week. Our last bets we're going to do this week are the prop bets. Remember, prop bets are any kind of weird, crazy, anything bets you could think of. And I usually, these are my favorites, is going to the quarterbacks throwing touchdown passes. And I'm going to what we were just talking about, the Green Bay secondary being hurt. So I think Burrow is going to have over 1.5 touchdown passes, especially if Mixon's not playing, which he's probably not going to. Burrow's going to have to throw the ball to score. Jamar Chase is going to be a star. We already know that. And he's got to take one of these games and break out. And I think it's Burrow throws both of them to him in the end zone. He's got 2 touchdowns. And my $20 wins me 18.
That's a great prop bet. I really like that. And the cool thing about this bet too is like it has an impact on your game, but on your ticket, but it doesn't really have that much of an impact on your ticket because you're just looking at one stat line from the whole painting there. So that's a really good one. And he's playing unreal right now. I love it. He's breaking out, and it's kind of a shame he didn't get to play the whole season last year.
I agree.
My prop bet, I went to the Sunday night game, and I kind of took a little wild card here. I think I put $10 to win 27 that Cole Beasley is going to get more receiving yards than Travis Kelce. I looked at the stats. Kelsey's averaging about 73 yards per game receiving. Cole Beasley's averaging about 54. 52. But the reason why I took Beasley is because if Buffalo is going to win, they're going to have to get the ball underneath. They're going to have to just keep moving that ball. And I'm not so sure that Diggs will be available, not that he's not going to play, but that he, if he's going to face double coverage or they're going to key on Diggs, that's our opportunity for Beasley to get some yards there. So it is kind of a stretch because when you look at it, Beasley's on pace for how much he had last year. I believe he had 87 receptions last year. He's got 25 now through 4 games. So he's on the pace. Actually, he's a little bit ahead of pace. But this could be a big game from Beasley. Could be what Buffalo needs to win this game outright.
Sorry, I was taking a drink. And when you look, here's where I like this bet is when you look at that game last year, one of the main reasons they got beat is at the AFC Championship last year. One of the main reasons they got beat is because they kept going underneath to Travis Kelce. And I think with as good as Buffalo's D is this year and what happened last year, they're going to say, beat me a different way. You're not beating me with Kelce. I mean, and I'm not saying they don't have the weapons to. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying you kicked our ass with Kelce last year in the AFC Champion. That we're not letting that happen again. So beat us a different way. So for this one game, this is a good bet. Overall, Like if you were saying over the whole year, I don't think it would be a good bet, but for this one game, I think it is.
I agree with you. It's like fool me once, shame on me, and fool me. Well, we won't get fooled again.
Yeah. Well, it's that old adage, like, if you're gonna beat me a different way. I don't want you to beat me this way. And
sure.
I think that's what it comes down to, but I still think Buffalo wins anyway. All right, guys, that concludes our Week 5 edition. I hope everybody has a great weekend. BS, I hope you have a great weekend.
I hope you have one as well.
Thank you. I hope we all take down Vegas. I'll be there, hopefully, taking down Vegas. So remember, though, please, some of you have been already texting, and I love it. Guys, keep sharing, keep liking, keep subscribing, keep doing all that stuff. We're on all the Facebooks and the Twitters and all that stuff. We're on all that. So hit us up. I love talking football with people. I love talking betting. I love talking drinking. So feel free to hit us up. Make sure you share this. Tell others so we can keep doing this. Because there's nothing more. There's nothing I like doing more. But do remember, this is purely for entertainment. We cannot guarantee anything we do here. But once again, BS, I love you, brother. Great week.
You too.
See you next time.
Bye, everybody.